Hello, friends. I hope everyone is perfectly well. We have taken some time to discuss several trends in the gold market in the past, and we discussed the similarity of the shapes in gold markets. And it's been quite a while since we discussed anything from that time, but we would not go back to what we discussed previously. Today, we just want to go through a little pattern for the formation which is currently unfolding in the gold trend. Before that, we want to look at something very quickly. Now, if we look at this top here, which was created, you can see it was a top created somewhere. We had two tops. First one in August, that is the late August, and then the second one in the first week of September. We can see also here at this top we had it between September and October. uh, you can see this low here was in December, but if we look at the current low here, which started this 188 cycles, it was also in August. So we have the first two here: August, September, we have December, and we have August at this low. Then the current high, which was made here, was also made in August. We have this low, which was made in March 2020, and then these two lows here. The second low was also made in March. So typically in gold market, we would say that gold cycles has this August September nodal point in the cycles of gold market. So that is what we wanted to point out first. Currently, we are in August, and then the trend from 2020 August made this double low in March, and then went up to this point, and then it's coming down again. Now, we are, for those who have been following my post for a while, you know we don't discuss chart patterns and all that kind of stuff. We discuss market dynamics and geometry only. So we want to say that from this low here, this trend to this top, which occurred from 2018 to 2020 August, is a typical growth process that we can project perfectly. We saw that in previous posts, and then we projected some of the ending points or nodal points in the swings also perfectly. Now we want to mention that in this growth process, or maybe some people might not understand, but I'll just make it brief. Growth process has a unit square that we call the cell, or the cell unit. In this growth process, the first cell or the unit square in this growth process was this 188 by 188 cycle that occurred in 2018, that started this side of the growth process. Obviously, the first side of the growth process is this particular swing here from 2015 to 2016. That was the first side of the growth process, and then uh, in cell science, we know that a well developed, or when a cell grows into its mature form, it divides into two, and then each fractal also grows up and divides into two again. If we watch this first side, as we said, this first side, which is the first cell in the growth process, if we look at the correction of that growth process, then it divides this side into two. Now, we've mentioned that typically corrections or the disintegration phase of cell growth actually divides the cell into two. So in that case, you can say that the division is exactly 50% of the original cell unit or the cell size. So this side, sorry guys, this side of the growth was the first one in this cycle only. Then he divided into two here. We know the advance from here. This level here, which was the 1692, was the second nodal point or the second top within the growth process. And then the correction that ensued or that followed also divided the whole swing. That is, uh, with the arrow. If you take from this swing to this top, then this correction here divides this swing or this growth axis into two exactly. Cell disintegration normally divides the cell either it has a range of 44.7 to 52.0% of the growth. So this divided the cell exactly into two. Then the next growth was from the same origin, from the origin to this top. So from the origin to this top. And the disintegration phase or the 50% division of this range is which is occurring now. Now we've had the first the first low here, which formed the double low at this point. But typically, we can say that it is possible to project that this disintegration phase may not be complete. This disintegration phase is not completed yet. So we have this double low here, which occurred at 1677 price level. Now, that point is our reference point now, because if we watch the swing from this low to this high, we can say the 50% if we use the fib. If we use the fib, then the 50% of that swing is somewhere within the 1621 price level. But if we are going to use the 44.7 because we don't want to go through it because of time. If we go through all the internals of the growth process, the disintegration phase has never reached 50%. This this disintegration phase was less than 50% of the cell growth. This side was also less than 50%. So if we are projecting this side, and then we know that this double low did not reach also the 50%. So in that case, we are saying that if this point here is our reference point, then we can conveniently project that this current decline which is coming is possible to end at the 1725 to 1729 price range. 1725 to 1725 to 1729 price range. That is if this double low is our reference point that the disintegration phase did not reach the 50%. So this is where it ended. Then in this decline which is currently ensuing, assume it, in the decline which is currently unfolding, we can say that we can expect it to end at the 1725 1729 price zone. That is, if this point is our reference zone. Then if this point here, which is our reference zone, is not the low of the disintegration phase, then conveniently we can project or we can pivot the end of our disintegration phase at the 1657 price level. 1657 price level. So that means that we have a reference point which is 1677. Then Above that reference point, we have a level 1725 to expect that this correction will end. Or if this 1677 point is not the nodal point of the disintegration phase, then below it we have 1677 to end the disintegration of this current growth phase for the next growth. The next growth, the next growth in the top of the next growth is pivoted at 2462 price level. 2462 price level. If we look closely at the growth process, then we have 1451, we have 1692, because this 1692 price during the March crash went through that level. We can see from the candle here, it went through, it pierced through that level, but the candle closed below it for this sharp decline that followed. And then per the growth process and the disintegration phase, we can project the next top of the growth process conveniently in the 2462 price level. Now, what we need currently is the base for that advance into 2462 price level. And that is where we have projected that it is either, if we have we are using this as our pivot point or the reference point, then the level above it which can stop this decline will be the 1725 price level. But if this reference point is not the low of the disintegration phase, then the low of that phase can be projected or pivoted at the 1657 price level. Now, as we said before, gold market has its anchor point somewhere within August, September. So, in this low, which is currently unfolding, we have a timeline for this low, and we expect that price should conclude this integration phase from August 2020 to current August between 31st of August, between 31st of August to 15th September 2021. That is between 31st to 15th. We have a 2 weeks window to end this correction for the full disintegration phase. So this is just the intro to the analysis for predicting this low which is currently unfolding and the next high. In another video, we would use the numericals as we always do. We'll try to use numbers to explain why we picked these 2 points as our expected low for the current disintegration phase. So guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for your time. Protect yourself and have a nice day.